years ago, businesses came together to create Business Bermuda. Our mission is to work together with government to create an environment which is friendly to businesses doing business in Bermuda. Let's take a look at why you should base your business in Bermuda.
For over 75 years, and with a population of 70,000 within its 22 square miles, Bermuda has played a vital role in global finance. Bermuda has established a reputation for successfully developing innovative new financial services and products that manage risk, facilitate the efficient flow of capital around the world, and drive growth in the global economy. Today, Bermuda's success in international business is reflected in more than just the quantity of business conducted on the island, but the quality of business, the excellence in service those businesses receive, and its sound legal and regulatory environment. Where else in the world but Bermuda would you find an annual growth rate of 6.4%? Inflation of 3%, virtually no unemployment, highest credit ratings from leading agencies including Moody's, Standard & Poor's, and Fitch, and a legal system with over 500 years of case law. While many have tried to replicate Bermuda, we know we stand apart. Bermuda is a leading global fund administration center with over 70 licensed fund administrators handling daily valuations, reporting, and risk assessment for tens of thousands of funds domiciled in jurisdictions around the world, and accepted as the only offshore exchange that is a full member of the World Federation of Exchanges and has grown steadily with daily trading and settlement volumes in 2006 exceeding $364 billion. The estimated GDP for 2008 will be in excess of $100,000 per capita. Where else but by being based in Bermuda?
Generally, when businesses are seeking to move in an offshore environment, they want to have the confidence and assurance that in the event that litigation is required, that they are involved in a court system and a legal system which is sound and robust. Businesses will have the comfort of knowing that in any legal proceedings there are rights of appeal through the Court of Appeal, as well as ultimately to the Privy Council in the United Kingdom.
Anyone who's worked in London or New York in insurance and reinsurance comes across Bermuda, and it's the third point of the triangle.
Well, we like to think that when businesses arrive at our shores, they are becoming part of an exclusive club. The fact that Bermuda is a well-known offshore financial center with the highest of regulatory standards actually lends credibility and security to the ventures which are actually structured.
Bermuda is an attractive environment for companies because it has a very efficient regulatory regime, and when you compare it to, for example, the US, which has 50 different states and 50 different insurance regulation systems, Bermuda is a much quicker, easier and efficient place to be.
I think the critical issues are social stability, political stability, and a stable regulatory and fiscal environment.
The purpose of reinsurance, the most important purposes of reinsurance, is to provide additional technical expertise to the insurance industry and, even more important, to provide capital access to the insurance industry. Bermuda has, for the last 10 years or more, been the most effective jurisdiction in accessing capital for the benefit of the insurance industry. Historically, Bermuda has been the best place to access capital when you need it. So I believe that many companies want to establish a presence in Bermuda, not just to participate in what is clearly a robust market, but also to make sure that when the time comes that they need capital, they have operations and a foothold in the best jurisdiction to access and tap into that capital.
We have 4 indigenous banks, and I think it's very important to stress the fact that they're indigenous. These aren't banks that were set up by other banks in different parts of the world. These are banks that actually started in Bermuda. The banks collectively have over $14 billion in assets, but more importantly, administer over $60 billion of custodial assets. The banks are called Bank of Bermuda, which is a member of HSBC, Butterfield Bank, Bermuda Commercial Bank, and Capital G. Big insurance companies can send money transfers through the banks without any manual intervention, no human intervention. They can really manage their own business. We have no disadvantage in terms of physical location because we can communicate to the world through technology.
The Bermuda Stock Exchange was actually established in 1971 as a central marketplace for the trading of domestic securities. Bermuda has had a long, well-established mentality of equity ownership in very successful domestic companies. The banks, which were the supporters of the exchange at that point, saw the need to provide a client service for shareholders to be able to buy and sell stock in a central marketplace and for the distribution of information. In December of 2007, the Bermuda Stock Exchange received a significant designation from the United Kingdom's Revenue and Customs. It's called the Recognized Stock Exchange status. This, coupled with the other designations received by the exchange over the past several years, clearly speaks to the regulatory and operational infrastructure that's deployed in Bermuda. It also provides users and issuers with certain significant fiscal benefits for listing and using the Bermuda Stock Exchange.
An initiative called Launch and List, which allows a fund to seek approval from both the Bermuda Monetary Authority and the Bermuda Stock Exchange simultaneously. So at the same time, you can get approval from both entities, and really you can be up and running and launch a fund within about 2 weeks, which is a great improvement.
For companies that make the decision to domicile in Bermuda, the transition to Bermuda is relatively seamless. We have a very, very sound infrastructure. Fiber optic capacity in and out of Bermuda is fully redundant, which is which is a big selling point for Bermuda, and is one of the reasons why I think many companies are deciding to domicile here.
Bermuda, although we're 500 miles from South Carolina, we are very fortunate in that we have multiple submarine cables that connect us south to the Caribbean, down to South America, to North America, and to Europe. 12 years ago, the government of Bermuda recognized the importance of liberalizing telecommunications and started opening up the market. So presently we have great choice and a lot of competition, whether it is an international or nationally. There are many, many providers available to both the residential and the business consumers.
I think Bermuda's physical location is absolutely a significant advantage that is often overlooked. There used to be a sign in Brooklyn, New York, that you would see on the way to the airport that said, "Bermuda, it's closer than the Hamptons." And it was a very effective point, because a flight from New York to Bermuda is only 90 minutes. So our business community here is really only a 90-minute flight to Wall Street.
I don't think the pace is any different. I don't think the work pace is any different. I mean, we're dealing with the same types of issues. The difference is we don't have to deal with the crowds. We don't have to deal with the commute. So if you start your day at 5:30 and catch a train into the city, and so you can be at your office by 8:30, and then have to catch another train at 5:30 or 6 so you can be home at 8. I mean, that's a big chunk of your day that's no longer available. You know, I jump on my scooter, I'm home in 10 minutes.
The beauty of Bermuda is that there are many leisure activities readily available. I love to golf. That's probably my favorite pastime. But just even going to the beach and reading a book on a Sunday afternoon is quite enjoyable.
At the end of that workday, there is the opportunity to sit back and truly enjoy those other aspects of Bermuda that make it the place that it is. Being able to sit on the beach and unwind, go for a swim, play golf, or even have a meal during the sunset periods. I mean, once you dine in Bermuda and you get to witness the sunset here, you're sold.
I want to be able to go see my kids play soccer in the middle of the day. I can do that. I couldn't do that in New York.
Bermuda is not just an idyllic vacation spot, it is an international focal point for financial services. Throughout our history, the Bermuda government and the Bermuda business community have worked together to create a place that combines appropriate regulation, intellectual talent, state-of-the-art infrastructure, and capital to attract and grow business.
I think that relationship between business, government, the regulators is one that certainly is a winning combination and one which certainly helps to characterize Bermuda as a jurisdiction of choice.
The Bermuda business model works. Our competitive edge and key milestones include Bermuda ascending to the top of the OECD listing 2009, being elected vice chair to the OECD Global Forum, Fitch affirming our AA+ rating and stable outlook, and the cooperation agreement between Bermuda and the International Association of Insurance Supervisors. We welcome your interest and hope that we will have the opportunity to work with you in the near future. We look forward to you basing your business in Bermuda.